Couldn't resist. Hi, my name is Esteban Zubia, but most of you might know me by Steven. But the reality is I have multiple names that I go by. It's either Steve, Steve-O, Esteban, Stefano, and the list goes on. But don't worry, I may have multiple names that I answer to. I do not have multiple personalities to contend with in this presentation. That being said, it's my hope that I can share with you some of the things that you may not know about me. That being my passions, my milestones, and my ministry, my calling. That being said, as a young man, while most were hitting the courts or playing the field or just had some place to be, I found myself intrigued with playing the piano. And so, my cousin was learning how to play the piano, and it was decided that I would learn how to play too. So I learned how to play the piano, and with time, I would learn how to play the drums as well. And musically speaking, one will find me most likely behind the drum set at my local church congregation playing in worship. And even on occasion, they'll ask me to play the piano and sing. But for those who are familiar with church hymnals, I'm the one they request to sing On a Hill Far Away. You know what I mean? But my love for playing music has also allowed me to do another passion that I have. I love to travel. And my music playing has allowed me to play with many different people, different states, different types of situations. But my love for traveling has also led me to many milestones. A lot of them were very happy and memorable. I think of traveling to youth camps in Missouri, or going to New Mexico and the white sands found out there, and going to the Madera Mountains in California. I think of other places like revivals and camp meetings found in Texas, Kansas, and Kentucky. Then there's some other places I just had to go to because I'm also passionate about vehicles and Corvettes specifically. So I had to go to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I got to go to the National Corvette Museum and slobber almost on every vehicle there. I also went to Washington, D.C. and saw our nation's capital. And no, I wasn't with Brenda. But the thing is, despite the places, I enjoyed every minute of it, where a good vehicle could take me. But I also found that some milestones were harder to reach than others. I had friends who died at an early age, much too early in my opinion, in their early 20s and mid-20s. And that was hard and rough. But I found, despite the reasons, that life is filled with destinations, the people in it, and the lessons to be learned by it. And it's here where I want to focus on the next part, my ministry. No, it's not a traveling ministry where I look for the next church to frequent, and it's not just confined to being a music ministry, but this began for me at a very early age. For those who would say that I grew up as a church boy, you know what I had to say? You'd be right. I was the type of guy that when growing up, I'll be found underneath the church pew sleeping, and on occasion I was even left behind. Parents went home and I was still sleeping underneath and they had to go back for me. But with that being said, I recall a wonderful lady of our church. Prior to her passing, Sister Ramos, we would all go to see her, a group of our church members. And for some reason or another, they asked me if I would say a little something to her before we left. And so I found some choice words, said what I said, and thought that would be the end of it. And then the days that followed would be like any other, except for the week that Sister Ramos died. But they had her funeral, interviewing, the things you would expect, but I wasn't there for any of it because I was that perfect attendance student that had to be in school. But that weekend, someone would tell me that at their funeral, they were looking for a certain young man that had something to say to Sister Ramos that lifted her spirits and was an encouragement to her. And I found out that I was that young man. I was the one that had something nice to say, and it made a difference. And it is at that point I feel that my ministry began. Fast forward down the line, and now found me traveling down to California during the summer months of my early college years to be a youth camp counselor. So I was there running after rugrats and kids and eating questionable food. And the thing is that after all that was said and done, I found myself attending church with some friends there in California. And that weekend, a certain young man who was a meth addict would be attending church that morning. And he would find himself in the front praying for a change, some encouragement, and just a different shift in life. And not too far behind him, there I was, joining him in the altar, praying with him, trying to be that help and encouragement. Fast forward down the line now, you had that young man as now being a former meth addict, now a minister of the gospel himself, with a beautiful family, and one I consider my friend and my brother. All that because I allowed myself to be a help, a friend, a guide, an example, giving of myself. You see, my friends, life is much more than the abundance of what we possess, Rather, I found that giving selflessly to others has brought a certain sense of satisfaction in my ministry. So with that, I want to talk to you that for me, life has taught me that giving of my time, my talent, my abilities, giving of me. So the milestones, the music, the ministry that I have has not only touched my own heart and life, but I have also touched the hearts and lives of others. And for that, it makes me today looking forward to what milestones have yet to be laid and the ministry yet to be done. Thank you.